A little while ago, you learned what a single candle is. Its body, its wicks, green for up, red for down. But on its own, one candle is just a single word. Today, the candles start forming sentences. Specific shapes that traders believe reveal the raw emotion of the crowd. Fear, greed, hesitation, and a strange, empty space on the chart called a gap. By the end, that wall of candles will start whispering a story to you. Quick refresher, because everything builds on it. Each candle shows one period's battle between buyers and sellers. A long green body means buyers dominated. A long red body means sellers crushed it. And the wicks, those thin lines, show how far the price was pushed before snapping back. Keep that one image in mind, a tug-of-war, because every pattern we meet is just a frozen photo of that struggle. Pattern 1, the most famous, the Doji. A doji is a candle with almost no body at all, just a thin cross because the price opened and closed at nearly the same spot. Think about what that means. Buyers and sellers fought all day and ended in a perfect tie. A doji is the chart's way of showing pure indecision, a hell breath. And after a long, strong trend, that sudden hesitation can be an early hint that the trend is running out of steam. Pattern 2, the hammer, and it has a hopeful shape. A hammer has a small body sitting up top, with a long wick hanging down below it, like a hammer's handle. Picture the story it tells. During that period, sellers shoved the price way down, but before the close, buyers came roaring back and lifted it almost all the way up again. When a hammer appears after a falling trend, traders read it as a possible bottom, a sign the sellers may finally be exhausted. Pattern 3, the engulfing, all about momentum. This is 2 candles. An engulfing pattern is when one big candle completely swallows the entire body of the candle before it. A bullish engulfing is a large green candle that devours the previous red one. Buyers didn't just win, they overwhelmed. A bearish engulfing is the opposite, a big red candle eating a green one, sellers seizing control. Engulfing patterns are read as a sudden, decisive shift in who is winning the tug-of-war. Now notice the thread running through all 3. The doji, the hammer, the engulfing. Not one of them is magic. Each is simply a picture of human emotion, of the moment-to-moment war between fear and greed, frozen into a shape. You're not reading tea leaves. You're reading the psychology of the crowd, drawn in candles. Now the empty space, the gap. Sometimes a stock finishes the day at one price, and then opens the next morning at a dramatically different one, leaving a literal blank space on the chart where no trading happened. That space is a gap. It usually appears after big news overnight, an earnings report, a surprise announcement. A gap up means a wave of optimism hit while the market was closed. A gap down means sudden fear. Gaps are the chart's record of a shock, and there is a famous saying about them. Gaps tend to fill. The idea is that price often drift back later to cover that empty space as the initial overreaction cools. Sometimes it happens fast, sometimes it takes months, and sometimes, importantly, it never happens at all. Like everything in technical analysis, it is a tendency the crowd watches for, not a law of physics. A quick word on where all this came from, because it is a wonderful story. The candlestick was born with that 18th century Japanese rice trader, Munehisa Homma. But the Western world barely knew about it until an analyst named Steve Nison wrote a book in 1991 that introduced Japanese candlestick techniques to traders everywhere. The patterns you just learned traveled 3 centuries and an ocean to reach your screen. And now the honest caveat we never skip, and it matters most of all here. These patterns are probabilities, not promises. A hammer does not guarantee a bounce. A doji does not guarantee a reversal. Remember the efficient market from a few episodes back. Millions of eyes see these same patterns at the same moment. No single candle is a crystal ball, and any trader who bets the house on one shape alone eventually gets humbled. Real practitioners use patterns only as one clue among many, always with context, never alone. So look back at that silent wall of candles we started with. It is not silent anymore. A doji whispers hesitation. A hammer hints at a turn. An engulfing shouts a shift in power. And a gap marks the scar of an overnight shock. You can hear the crowd's emotion in the shapes now, which is a genuine skill. Just never forget that hearing the mood is not the same as knowing the future. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep it simple and read the candles as feelings, never as fortunes.